The presenting sponsor of Upmarket is Aereo, the best place to grow and manage your real estate media business online at aereo.com. That's ARYEO.com. Coming to you from the makeshift Upmarket studio in the beautiful Ojai Valley of Southern California, this is Upmarket, a podcast about the business of real estate photography and media. My name is Reed Fish. Hi, I'm the CEO and the co-founder of Upmarket Media. And no Mark Corcoran. He's out shooting houses with his fancy New Zealand accent, charming realtors right and left. So that's good for him. He's not here doing this podcast with me. Chelsea Froelich, she's actually producing from the other room. I'm actually, it's funny, I'm recording this at Chelsea's house because I was normally going to record at my house, but there's a new roof being put on this morning. So this, of course, is one of our Road to PMRE episodes, and we are so delighted, of course, this year to be partnered with iGuide to bring you our Road to PMRE episodes. And iGuide, they're running their tour to PMRE promotion. And so we've talked about it. We've got a giveaway. If you go to goiguide.com/PMRE and sign up, you're going to get on the mailing list for iGuide and for Upmarket Media or Upmarket Podcast. And then you're going to go follow at Upmarket Pod on Instagram, and you're going to follow go_iGuide on Instagram. And you are going to be entered to win, get this, one of 2 all expenses paid trips to PMRE in November. And also an early bird promotion, an early bird giveaway of a Planix Pro system for iGuide. I mean, this is incredible. Not only that, but every single person that signs up at goiguide.com/PMRE is going to get a $50 discount code to use to buy a ticket to PMRE. So, and that discount code is not applicable to the early bird because early bird is going to be announced soon, and we're going to let you know about that for when the tickets go on sale. But for a regular price, you get a $50 discount code from iGuide. Ooh, thank you, iGuide. And you got to get your entry in by June 3rd for that early bird giveaway of the Planix Pro system. And so you know that PMRE is coming up. Obviously, we're doing these Road to PMRE episodes. It is in November, November 10th through 13th at the Palms Hotel and Casino. And this year, of course, you got to go to PMREconference.com. You can check it out. You can watch the teasers. And all of us, I think, are really excited about the day 3 of PMRE this year. It is a day devoted to commercial architectural design photography. And coming back to PMRE, one of the most favorite speakers of all time, it is Ema Peter, who is a architectural and design photographer. And Emma, you're coming back to PMRE. The biggest question I have kind of is like, as we talk about this transition, or not even a transition from real estate photography to kind of architectural work, not that we're advocating anyone actually transitions, but if there is a moment where a real estate photographer is going to walk into one of these types of shoots for a big architect or big somebody, how can we have the confidence to do that shoot, right? Because I think when I think of the shoots that you're doing, I'm thinking of these like high pressure shoots, and you have your assistant there, and you're like meticulously planning like one shot for a whole day, and then you have these super picky clients. How do we, kind of get rid of our imposter syndrome and actually get in there and get the work done, or how do you do it?
Well, the imposter syndrome is always there, no matter what you do, because especially with the bigger names, you always feel you need to do more. And I think the real estate photographers, actually, I really admire what they can do. They can go in a project and shoot really quickly and then deliver really good images. I mean, the quality of the imagery that is coming out of real estate nowadays, it's not what it was before.
Right.
It is pretty amazing. So I think that the one significant difference is here there's so many expectations from a perspective of times of the day, exactly angles that you're going to achieve. So the research that you need to do to actually do a big architectural shoot. There you go. We just came back from New York. We shot with Heather Wick, which is one of the big architectural studios in London. And like for us, we had to make sure that those shots are absolutely perfect because they're going to go to a global scene. They're going to be put in global publications. So suddenly it's a make it or break it moment every single time you shoot. So it's more mental than it is, I would say, knowledge based. You need to just stay present.
Well, but part of that, so if it is a mental thing, it sounds like maybe like you're doing a lot of pre-production, and I think for real estate shoots, we do, I can just speak for myself. I do zero pre-production. I look at, maybe I'll look up the address and I'll look at the Google map view and then okay, yeah, that's fine, whatever. And we just kind of walk in and just make it up as we go. Cause we just, with the volume you're shooting, you're not going to go scout the property unless it's like, some giant shoot and the realtor's paying you extra. So, how much pre-production are you doing? Because I do think that preparation, if you walk into something and you actually feel prepared, that can give you confidence, obviously.
But I would say, I want to say that we prepare. We go back and forth with the architectural firm. They give us images of what they want to achieve. I would say in good 80% of the cases, we'll have somebody from the architectural firm with us. But there you go, the shoot that we did last week. The decision to take the shoot was done to actually execute the shoot was done the Thursday before. So we had to actually go in an unknown environment. There was construction everywhere. So really like the pre-production that was done is communication with the architect and the developer. So we actually knew angles, we knew the building from photos that they've shown us, but the situation we found out was completely different. There was construction all the way around because there's building being built on the other side. So I had to react. And the one thing is you can't get in your head in any way or shape, because the moment you think, oh my God, there is a construction going on, like literally I cannot do anything. The vegetation is not fully there. I think that you need to kind of stop thinking about those things and just compose your shots and look for the light. That's your savior in those situations. So I have to say in many cases, we don't have that prep. We don't have that scout because we fly internationally. And even in Vancouver, like the prep is minimal. It's a lot of conversations, maybe one walk through the project, but when they're enormous universities, hospitals, I did 2 weeks of this, universities, hospitals, airport in Spain without absolutely knowing, except in photos, the locations. And you have to be there from 4 a.m. until 9 p.m. So you can catch the light and you just follow the light. Well,
and then typically are your clients sending you, do they have like their kind of PR team or whatever walk through the property with their iPhones and snap a few photos of like, hey, this is kind of what we're thinking? Or do they really just say, Emma, you're brilliant, just whatever you think, wherever you see that beautiful light?
I would say 80% of the clients leave me to actually give me some rendering perspective, so I know where the original rendering was coming from. Some of the architects are avid photographers, and that's my favorite part, is when we have avid photographers that want to join us, and they're brilliant, like brilliant. And some of them have a lot more expensive cameras. They show up with large format cameras on the shoots. I'm like, oh, why am I here? Yeah, it's interesting.
That's the opposite, because anytime there's a real estate agent who's also a photographer, I want to run the other way. That is like my worst freaking nightmare.
Yes, we have experienced this in Vancouver. And I think that your pressure is in a different point, like because you need to deliver suddenly 25, 30 images within 24 50, hours, which... 50, there you go. It's even worse. So this is not something that we'll ever do. Like, we would spend 2 weeks afterwards processing the images, like, and making sure that the sky, I mean, just yesterday we went 10 times on what sky I like per each image, depending on the time of the day I've taken it. So there is a lot more going on in post-production, I would say, afterwards.
Right. Well, how many, so when you're doing, I don't know, I mean, I'm sure there's no typical, but like if you are working at that 4 a.m. to 9 p.m. day, how many images are you producing in a day typically?
Well, like it really depends because I have a lot of fun. So like for 3 day shoot, I was hired to do 20 images. But to be honest, my final selection was 144.
Oh Jesus!
Because
Okay.
I do have fun. I try to do the photojournalistic shots on the streets. I engage with some of the public. There were kids running around. We engaged with the school that was there. So I'm not there only for the client. I'm there for myself as well, because the actual satisfaction and that sensation of happiness that comes from nailing the shot is so important as well. Mm-hmm. So in many ways, I'm just like a kid in a toy store a little bit. So
Wow.
It's exhausting though. Like bear in mind, we had 3 hours of sleep each night. For the 4 days that we were there, and then we flew out and flew to another shoot. So it could be really like kind of challenging for your body as well.
Well, I like, that's really interesting to me after all these shoots and all the stuff that you're like still excited. And this is, and our audience will understand exactly how profound of a statement this is for me. But I actually find that a little inspiring. That's and I'm not a person who like gets inspired. So I really that kind of warms my heart, because I do think that I so much focus on, if in the real estate world, on the grind of it and of how just grueling it is, and where it kind of like squashed my love of photography, because I just had to do it so much. And so I'm just more focused on the business side. And I feel like, and I think I kind of like dismiss the creative side of it a lot. And like, I don't like, it just hasn't been that interest of mine. So to hear someone who's like, oh, I really, really enjoy it. I mean, that's kind of inspiring. Now I want to go on a shoot with you.
Yeah, no, you have to come. No, and do you know, I fully understand what you're saying, because I think we've spoken with you. I worked with VRX Studios and Expedia. So I was their head of photography for a while. And when we went from a 5-star hotels, we suddenly got we had to photograph with 3-star hotels, because there was a contract with those type of hotels to be done. Mm-hmm. There were motel hotels, they were tiny.
Right.
Suddenly my entire team went from being brilliant to losing their mind and thinking, okay, I can't do this. But we kind of twisted it a little bit. The way I presented it to them was, okay, do you know what? Most of those properties are small business owners. Mm-hmm. Most of them are foreigners that have purchased a franchise and worked all of their life for it. So on many levels, I tried to make them be engaged with the owner and to actually think about the humane side. Who are they shooting for? Because it's very, very easy to lose that excitement when day after day you're doing things that are not visually interesting. This is not, and this is where, with the people that I've connected, amazing group of people through the conference, honestly, the sheer excitement they have and the real positivity has been truly exceptional. So, and that's why I love going back, because the group of people is so fantastic, and you feel like you're giving them something that they'll benefit from. So it's even a bigger reward for me personally. But we were talking, they need to find something every month to do that is like, will help them move forward, because even if they go to a building they love or contact an architect they love and say, okay, I would love to do something. So you have that creative, a little bit fire happening, because day after day photographing real estate, yes, if it's brilliant real estate is fantastic, but how do you keep that going? Like, it almost becomes a job.
Well, and I think that is an interesting angle to think about the owners of the properties, because I just deal with realtors, and what I like. Okay, great, we're helping realtors succeed, but you have to remember that we bitch about homeowners all the time, but it's like you are genuinely probably helping out the homeowner. If your images are helping that property sell for a little more money or a little quicker, that is a service to the homeowner. And I know, and I feel like it has been gratifying when I have gotten feedback directly from homeowners. Like if I, if I ever shoot a house that a friend of mine owns, happen to shoot it, and they come back with text, oh my God, this is, I can't even believe what you did, then all of a sudden, okay, I feel a little good about that.
It's good, so, right?
Yeah,
so maybe that could be the approach. Maybe the approach is to say to the realtors, and we did it here. I've worked with realtors as well on kind of bigger projects, and we've really connected more with the homeowner than with the real estate agent. So because when you're connected with them and say, I want your property to look brilliant, they will work with you. They will help you with all of those little things that are not done well, or maybe not.
Yeah, I'm not going to. Well, I don't know if you sat through my talk at PMRE 2 years ago, but I had a whole section on how we should ban homeowners because I never, ever want to talk to them. So I'm happy that they get that result. But for our workflows, no homeowners around.
It's slower. It becomes slower, I bet you. Like it's going to become 10 times slower.
Yeah. So, because I got to produce 250 images in a day, so not
I know.
So
I know. That would slow the process. You're completely right.
Yeah. Well, and to be fair, I'm a bit of a curmudgeon, so a lot of people I don't even have patience for. So it's and that's why I'm not out shooting. I'm just doing this kind of stuff. I get to talk to interesting people that I actually like. So that's I'm more into the podcasting. You're this highfalutin architectural photographer, but you have done some real estate work. Really?
Oh, I still work with the builders that actually hired me first 20 years ago because I don't believe in this whole thing that, you're photographing internationally, but you forget who you are and who started you. So I really try to stay grounded in many, many ways. And actually, I wanted to experiment because I'm I can't believe you guys can do that. I think it's almost impossible to do that. So especially after the conference, I was like, okay, let me just try because some of the really good realtors here have been asking me to do stuff. So I tried to, I wouldn't say it was my most favorite experience, but it was interesting.
Okay. So wait, I want to clarify this. So after PMRE last time, you were so inspired by real estate photographers that you took a couple real estate photography gigs. Is that what you're saying? I'm mind blown by the fact that you can go in and produce really good quality images for that amount of time. So I was like, okay, I need to try to do this. I totally failed because I stayed there for a whole day, of course. I was supposed to be there for 2 hours, and here I am at 9 p.m. doing dusk. So I think it's hard to revert to when you're used to moving every chair 17 times to be in the perfect direction. But I have to say, it made my process much faster afterwards with the designers because I was I do believe in experiences. You have to you can't talk to a crowd without knowing what they're doing. So for your real estate shoots, did you bring your assistant with you?
So one of them, yes, one of them, no.
Okay. Because
so the first one I did not.
Your regular shoots, you're always bringing your assistant. Right.
Always with Tina, always with Tina or Jessica, we always go together. I not always. I've done 2-week trips, where I've shot enormous buildings only with a person from the firm in Spain or wherever I am, because it's a long time to be away from home and kids sometimes.
Yeah. So you did it on your own and with an assistant at the real estate shoot. Okay. What did you do? Did you just have Tina moving stuff?
Well, because the properties were enormous, so Tina would usually prep the locations with the homeowner, so we were going through, and then it was easier to go faster, but I still didn't go faster. I still I shot the whole day.
When you're shooting these enormous properties, you're just using available light, right? There's no, for the most part. And then, what is your process like? Okay, no. All right.
So I use strobes. I use airs. I have to have strobes because the thing is you change the light and the light might be perfect, but we still either will fill, or if the light is not, yesterday we had really cloudy, rainy weather. We actually line up multiple strobes outside and then we stream them in. So it looks like a bright sunny day. And then we fill it in from the inside with strobe. So we use like 5, 6, 7, like depending on what we're trying to achieve. But even in sunny days, like we still use strobes. I don't think I ever fully shoot without lighting interiors.
Oh, wow. Even in these just absolutely enormous spaces. You know?
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. And plus now they're battery operated, so the strobe, so you can just literally put them in different places and use them. So it's become a really much easier.
And then are you blending multiple images, or are you just doing single frames?
No, like I take the full range of images, and my editors, we have three editors that work for us. Like they do the Photoshop work, and I'm very proud to say that 3 days ago I opened Lightroom for first time. So Tina has been trying to make me do this for years. I just don't believe in doing multiple things. Like I believe I can adjust the images just to color temperature that I want, and then they take over. So they have a sample of what I want as color temperature, and they have videos of the spaces, and then they do their work. I just comment on it. So Tina has been trying to make me use Lightroom because the process is so much faster than using the Canon software.
Right. Well, and you were telling me, before that, and I know kind of almost famously in your PMRE talk 2 years ago, you talked about how you don't know how to use Photoshop. You don't. I mean, you're like this big famous photographer, but you don't know how to use the post-production tools. But I just want to clarify that you just even importing photos from your camera to your computer, you were just using the Canon software, like the Canon
software. Like I do a selection, I do the basics, like literally. But the images that I do are like they're pretty spot on. Like you don't need to do massive amounts of work on them. Of course, when there is views, like they have to be added, or when there is we have blurred people or like vegetation needs to be added, but I try to nail it in the shoot so well that the editors have very, very small amount to do. But I'm very picky on the post-production afterwards.
Right. But do you think you're going to move to Lightroom to handle your importing your photos or no? Or,
yes. Okay. Oh my God. It's so much easier. Like I couldn't believe Tina has been trying. Tina gave up. Like she's tried for 5 years, I would say 6. And she's like, okay, Emma, I'll show you. Like, because Tina was head of post-production for VRX and like when we met. So Tina is very versed on Lightroom, Photoshop, like so she's like, you're spending hours doing something you can spend 15 minutes, and it's 15 minutes, and I'm so excited at the moment.
Oh, your life has changed.
And the things you can do.
Oh yeah.
My life has changed.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. Well, I want to, let's change your life again. And let's take a quick break. And then, because you're not going to be the same after we do our social media sidebar. So we'll come back. We're going to have our social media sidebar with Emma, and then we're going to talk a bit more. And then Emma, I prepped her. She's got an internationally amazing action item for all of us at the end of the show. So, all right, we'll be right back. Aereo. That's right. Aereo. Oh, baby. Man, we're using Aereo more and more. We've been doing that scheduling with Aereo. It's going great. We're also making sure everyone has the Aereo Go app. Have we even talked about the Aereo Go app? That's a great tool for your team to be able to have on the go access to a ton of the Aereo features, and they can see their schedule. They can actually, if need be, I think communicate with the realtors. Hey, we're going to be 5 minutes late. That's not our workflow because we just run everything through Chelsea. But there is so many cool tools in the Aereo Go app that your team can use to help streamline your business. So Aereo.com, come on. There's so much amazing stuff at Aereo, ARYEO.com. If you use the code Upmarket and you're a new user, how could you be a new user? Why aren't you using this already? But if by chance you're a new user for Aereo, use the code Upmarket and you're going to get 15 free bonus listings. I love a bonus and I love listings. I love bonus listings. I love the meeting of bonus and listing. I love it. So Aereo.com/Upmarket. Check it out, please. I'll admit to everyone, I've been feeling a little lost lately. But one thing has got me back on track, and that's floor plans. Because when I'm feeling lost, I can look at a floor plan and then I know where to go. Because if I'm in the house and I look, because I have a floor plan of my own house, of course. So if I'm feeling lost in that house, I can look at the floor plan and I know where to go. I know where that bathroom is. I know where that bedroom is. I know where the kitchen is. You can just look at the damn floor plan. And Second Floor app is such a great way to be making those floor plans. So with Second Floor, here, let's just talk about it, because I know there's a lot of stuff going on where people are talking speed of delivery for Second Floor app is because here's the thing, it's instant. So if you're using Second Floor app, you can go in and you can capture a floor plan in like 5 to 10 minutes, right? Depending on how big the house is. You just walk through with your little smartphone, use that LiDAR, and it's just going to get that stuff going. And you're going to have a finished floor plan with GLA at the end. After 5 to 10 minutes, you can deliver it right to your client. No more waiting 24 to 48 hours for a floor plan, for an accurate, great floor plan. So secondfloorapp.com, that's all spelled out, secondfloorapp.com/upmarket, and you are going to get a free month of service. So please check out Second Floor app. A lot of people I know have been checking them out lately, and I've heard some really great things. And I know Adam and his team is always working on making it a better product. So Second Floor app, check it out. All right, social media sidebar. We are Upmarket Pod across, most of the social media things that you use. And you've noticed, Upmarket Pod, we've been beefing this up. We got our partnership with iGuide and PMRE and everything, and we are just like throwing content out. We've really transformed our Instagram for you all, for all the viewers and viewers watch this on YouTube. I think, so like 90% of our audience is doing this audio, but we do have video versions of this. So check out our YouTube channel. It's Upmarket Pod on YouTube. Ema, where can we find you? I follow you on Instagram. It's a great follow. So where can our listeners find you?
So my tag is quite funny. It's Ema Photography, but it's with a PHI at the end. Photography wasn't available, right. So I never changed it. So yeah, I love Instagram. This is kind of one of my favorites.
Well, and it's Ema with one M. So just to clarify,
Ema with one M.
EMA, yes. And it's all
EMA.
one. Yeah, Ema Photography, IE. Okay, and so you do clearly have fun with it. You are posting a lot. Now, are you handling your own social media, or do you have Tina or someone else do it for you?
Sometimes the messages are answered by other people because I can't handle the volume of messages that's coming in. But otherwise, the posting, I do the posting and I repost. And it's become my social life a little bit because there is no social life.
Right.
So I feel like I'm on it a little bit more than I should be. But yeah, I do a post a day. And it was interesting recently. Instagram kind of gave a little bit of a push for us to do threads. So I'm trying to do that as well. So yeah, I do it all. I think I do it all at the moment.
Right. Okay. So you are finding it a bit as a kind of social life, but are you, do you feel like you are getting jobs from it, or, are you getting like legitimate good leads from your Instagram?
Absolutely. 100%. So I think when people see what you're photographing, it's a running gallery, as well as, I'm jury of a lot of the awards of Architizer, Hunter, like all of the Loop Design Awards, all of the bigger awards. So when you post all of this and you're also bunched together with a lot of the kind of really interesting architects from around the world, you start a conversation no matter what. Because when a post is posted with you and some of the top architects, with their firms, you start conversation as well. So I feel without Instagram, I wouldn't have gotten to where I am at the moment whatsoever. And I never paid for Instagram. I never did anything. I just did one post a day. So sometimes I boost them, like maybe once 2 months, I would boost something just for the fun of it. But everything else has been organic.
so strategy wise, you've just been doing just one like native post a day, and then but you're also doing stories.
I do stories. I like to show people where we are, and I think it's becoming more people follow us because we're constantly on interesting places as well. So it becomes almost, we get good 10,000 views of the stories per story, so which is like a really high engagement. And I try to stay on top of the reels as well, though I find the reels don't give us as much of a, like people don't look at the reels. I think people want something instant. They want to scroll quickly through three, 4 photos. They don't have time to sit and watch video. Like it doesn't seem to be something that people are interested in.
Right.
So yeah, I try to stay to the scrolling posts the most.
And then and you are finding in the stories and stuff, and because it's what we've talked about a lot, is it's kind of the behind the scenes stuff. So, and for you, obviously you're traveling always to exotic places and fun, seeing fun buildings, but you are kind of giving a glimpse of you working at these places. You're in the frame, right? It's not just the building.
Well, I find people are really like more engaged when my face shows up, and I'm not super comfortable with this, to be honest. Like I'm not the selfie type of a person. Right. So, but I've spoken with PRs that have said, really what you're doing is you're connecting with your audience. So when you're actually showing your face and saying, hey, here I am, somehow you have that personal connection that happens as well. So people feel like they know you. And this has become exactly the case. You go to award ceremonies and parties and you've chatted with someone forever and you feel like you know them, and suddenly the connection is instant when you actually meet people. Lee Mindell, who's Shelton Mindell, like he's one of my favorite designers ever. We've spoken for 10 years without meeting, and we met in Paris in January, and we were like, okay, we're old friends. We know each other for so many years. Right. And I feel you have to have that personal connection because people want to see who you are and they want to somehow understand you. And when you are from the people that push tremendously, somehow people want to be like this, want to get inspired to push. So that connection is important.
Well, what's interesting is I hear you say that because I think a lot of people struggle with it. It's like, oh, I don't want to be on camera. I don't want my face there. I'm not comfortable with that. Yeah. But so you strike me as not only a very confident person, right? Externally, I don't know what your interior world is, obviously. But you strike me as very confident. But then you also have a background in TV presenting, right? You were a news presenter in Bulgaria, right? So how are you not comfortable doing this? I mean, of anyone, like you should be just like natural, like, oh, boom, I can be on camera, no problem.
Well, do you know, like somehow I feel the females are doing this more than the guys are doing this. Like I feel, and somehow I don't want people to look at me. I don't believe in this whole male-female situation. I want people to look at me as, okay, she's a talented photographer, not somebody who wears makeup and her hair is blowing in the wind and she has a fan there, like on the photo shoot, so her hair looks good. Like it just, this doesn't mean that like I don't like the attention. Of course, everybody does, but it just at the same time, would Ian Ban do this? Would Fernando Guerra do this? Would Hilary and Gunnan do this? Like, it just they're the top of the game, and like I feel this is my discomfort comes more from that because I want to be seen as a professional. Right. But you can be seen as a professional and as a female at the same time, and this is where I need to find that balance because I always feel like you just need to be extremely strong and confident to actually, and you kind of scratch that female side a little bit, and there are ways of actually being a female and being successful. So I have to find that balance. I haven't found that balance. It's the Eastern European thing talking as well. Yeah.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, maybe during this next break we can find that balance, and we'll come back and we will have a lot more with Ema, and we'll end with our action items. Hey, we've been talking about iGuide quite a bit. Obviously, we talked a lot about all their amazing giveaways that they're doing. So go to goiguide.com/PMRE and then you're going to, get entered in to win a free trip. But also, iGuide, they're just a great product. So they have their quick capture camera system, the Planix Pro, that delivers unreal accuracy. I'm reading their ad copy. It's unreal accuracy. I believe that. I don't think they would lie about that. And here's what sets them apart is that they have easy to navigate 3D tours and accurate floor plan available in a variety of file formats. So iGuide, you can do a house pretty quickly. I think Skylar told me it's like 15 or 20 minutes. We're gonna get an iGuide. We're gonna get using it so I can report back directly about how all this stuff works. So many people love iGuide. We've gotten so much feedback from people since we announced this partnership with iGuide of how excited they are that we're partnering with them because they truly love iGuide. So check it out for yourself. So it's go to goiguide.com to see what it's all about, and go to goiguide.com/PMRE to sign up for that amazing giveaway. Thank you, iGuide. All right, Ema Peter, I'm excited. I loved your talk 2 years ago at PMRE, and I'm really super excited for your day 3 talk this year. Can you? And I know we're recording this in the springtime, and November is a long way off. But do you have an idea of kind of what you're going to talk about on stage, or at least thematically? I'd be kind of curious to hear if you can kind of tease us on what you're going to be doing there.
For sure. Well, we touched a little bit just before the break on exactly what I think self-confidence means. And I think in many ways, photographers could be exceptional, and they might not understand their value exactly because of that internal struggle of who they feel they are or where they think they are. I have photographers that live in small places in America or in Europe, and they're saying, okay, I'm watching you going to all of these places and doing all of these things. And psychologically, I feel we have to do the work more there and understand what actually goes through the brain of someone who is actually doing all of this work as well. So I think that the talk is going to veer off more towards psychology and how for us to be strong and persistent, and what exactly it means when you actually get to that point, how exactly you need to stay sane. So for me, it's important to actually somehow inspire people, because I saw after the last talk, I spoke about a lot of things. I spoke about business primarily, but I think people connected the most with the part where I pretty much talk to them as an inspirational speaker rather than as a photographer. So I want to just reinforce in the next talk that actually the things that are going through our heads are actually going through everybody's head, and exactly what we have to do is mental strength to keep going, and how exactly we need to manifest things, how we need to work on our psychology to actually see ourselves in a different way. I think the moment you see yourself in a different way and you connect with yourself, the game changes.
Well, when you connect with yourself in a different way, I think you carry yourself in a different way, right? And so you have to, I feel like so much of probably what you're having to do is, because there's the two sides of it. There's like, okay, I'm going to walk into this giant space and I'm going to know how to photograph it. I'm going to know where to put the strobes. I think like I would have no clue where to do that. So I would be just like freaking out. I would be, wetting my pants. But there's that whole thing on the shoot, but then it's the dealing with the client side too. And sometimes, you're also dealing with either, like people who are at the top of their respective fields and in a very kind of, I don't know how to put it, but in very prestigious fields, and they're at the top of their game. Yes. And so, there's probably a lot of assholes that you have to deal with who are really full of themselves. And so it's like, you have to kind of like meet them halfway, right? Or be able to walk in and have them take you seriously.
This is it. And this is where I would say 90% of people fail, because I have seen incredibly talented people completely lack that self-confidence. We even had this conversation in New York just recently with one of the photographers, because I would be on the High Line in New York, photographing the building. There'll be people walking by, and I would have absolutely no problem to just turn to someone and say, hey, you look amazing. Do you mind walking through the shot? And he was with us, and he said, I would never, ever have the self-confidence to do that. But I feel this changes my game, because I could wait for another 1 hour or 2 hours for the right person to pop by, or I could just run and ask the people that I want them in my shot. And with architects, you said it really well. They need to respect you. They need to know that you're going to turn the world around to get what they need. And when they have that self-confidence, it's so much easier to have an incredible relationship.
Well, and when you walk in, what is your psychology when you walk in and you're talking to like a big famous architect? Do you think of yourself as an equal? I mean, and not in like a conceited way, but do you, or are you just sitting there like, okay, I hope that I hope this person thinks I'm amazing, or do you walk in and actually like believe that you're bringing value to them, believe that you are actually on par with what they're doing, but in your field?
Well, when I walk in, I actually don't think about them at all. So like, this is the funny thing is when I walk in a space, I am so focused on the light that's like, they could be like the biggest architect could be next to me and I'll be like, okay, wait for a second. I need to just check the light here. It just like, I feel like I have such a separation. Like for me, the importance is the project to be successful. They could, like the architects could be there and they see this, they see that like my attention is not on them and the fact that they're well known and the fact that like the whole world really is in their feet. Like the architects, especially, they're real people and they love when you actually love their project and you actually want to capture their project correctly. So I think this shows immediately, but that comes from self-confidence. And I've always had it because of that, because I don't really focus on them. I focus on what I can do with their project.
Right. Focus on the work and then it kind of falls into place.
Yeah. Absolutely. When people see that you love their baby as much as they love their baby, like it just, of course, like you just become the person who they want to leave the baby for you to take care of,
right.
said in a very basic language, but this is it.
Are you handling all the business side on your own, or do you have an agent, or do you have, other than, kind of Tina, your support staff, do you have someone out there actually trying to get you work?
No. So I've done all of the business development and I love business development. I'm like you. I love the business side. I feel if I wasn't in photography, I would be in business or like in strategy. I love strategy. So for me, it's always been, I know I go ahead a little bit and I know where I want to get. And I know the steps that I want to get there. So if you want to work with specific firms, you need to do your research. You need to know who works there. Of course, you need to connect with people on a very genuine level as well. I had a meeting recently with a firm that I've admired for years and years and years. I mean, they're amazing. And the three partners met with me and we spoke about Cartier-Bresson and like the Magnum group of photographers. And suddenly the conversation was so much more intellectual. And I think when you connect like this with people is also very important, when you really connect on a not only architecture level, but also what are their favorite books? What is their favorite music? So yeah, I think all of the connections happen in a very, very natural way.
Mm-hmm. Well, do you have then any advice for someone who is kind of a real estate photographer but maybe wants to work with architects? I mean, how can we approach these types of people? I mean, and because it does feel like the architecture client is a different animal than the realtor client, and so do you have any wisdom?
Yeah, for sure. Like, for me, the key thing is actually there are few photographers I see, especially one in New York, who just he goes around and he photographs buildings on his own, for his own, like to catch the perfect light. And I think you almost need to start there. You need to actually give yourself the time to go and actually catch the right light, to see how the architect has captured the building, and then do something completely different. Because this gives you the self-confidence to actually post or say something to the architectural firm, present in front of the architectural firm something completely different, because they've seen it all. And they want to work with people that are confident and well-established. And for me, it is starting with the builders. I've always said that. Like, you don't start with the architects, you start with engineers, with the builders, with any of the firms that actually will look for really good quality, but then you don't have the pressure that if you do one mistake, you're no longer, they will never contact you again. So this is what I did. I mean, with Expedia, I did everything from Super 8s and Ramadas to the Sandals Resort. So it was very much of a boot camp of architecture and interior photography. And then I started working with the builders. I contacted one of the builders. They hired me. A second one, they hired me. And they work with designers. So slowly you get to the point where yes, there'll be 10 projects that won't be good, but then there will be one that will be amazing, and it will be for a high-end designer, and then you kill it. Then you work until you drop to make it perfect, to make it even better than what they have. And this is how you get noticed. You don't just directly go. I think a lot of the mistakes happening at the moment with the junior photographers is they go around, they take photos of the buildings, they show them to the architects, they say, look at me. And then from then on, the architects have seen it all. So it's not the approach. The approach is the old school approach. Apprentice a little bit. Do a little bit of that more kind of, just not the work that will be highly stressful with the architectural firms, because you don't know how the columns somewhere connect, because the architects see everything. You've missed the way a column connects with another column, or you've missed catching a peak of the building from this perspective. With them, it's more complicated. With the builders, they still want very high quality, and they'll be like the realtors. They would want something fast, something that is wider, but you still have opportunity to do work with them.
Right. Well, and
to build it up.
Yeah. Well, and that is an interesting take, because I think that's, and it really goes back to why there is this third day of PMRE, and kind of I had Matthew Anderson on the podcast a few weeks ago, and kind of his point, and I 100% agree, is that if you are doing high volume, good real estate photography, at a certain point, a builder is going to call you. A designer is going to call you, because they are going to see your work. And so and that has happened to us. And in fact, we've shot for a lot of designers, but we fired most of them because they're a pain in our ass. And we don't have that aspiration to become, the next Ema Peter. So for us, we've said, no, we want to focus on the bread and butter, the real estate stuff that we can send our staff to. And like Mark and I can just, we just don't have that drive to want to do what you're doing. But clearly there is a path for real estate photographers to do the kind of work you're doing. And I don't think that the kind of work you're doing is better than real estate photography, but I think they do just play off of each other so well.
Absolutely.
That I think it does behoove the everyday real estate photographer to kind of have a sense of how to approach those type of shoots, because they are going to get offered. And if they do want to do those, then they're going to have the tools in which to do it.
Absolutely. And also you can use the higher end real estate shoots that you're doing to build up a portfolio as well. Do one shot in an amazing property that is spectacular, build 20 or 30 in your portfolio of those, and then you're done.
Right. Right. Well,
so it's completely doable.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. We are taking thousands of photos, so you can probably sneak one or two really great ones in there. So yeah. And you just have to recognize the opportunities to take those great photos. And then you have to recognize that those photos are great when you are, delivering, all the other stuff. So you want to make sure that if you do have aspirations for this, that you are thinking about that in your everyday shoots. Because
absolutely. Yeah. And it comes also to personality, as I was saying before, because you spend days with designers, full days. So you need to really be connecting with all of those people on it. Like all of the clients that I have at the moment, we connect on intellectual level as well. I mean, we're exchanging books, like we're talking about the creative process. We're trying to find purpose. We're talking about sustainability. So it's not just a conversation. We're shooting a project. There's a lot more of a kind of an intellectual stimulation and like creative inspiration that comes from actually connecting with people, even if you're talking about books or music or the creative act in general. So it's very important for your soul to actually have those connections, because otherwise, we work every day. We work very long hours. But one of those conversations recently, an architect, we were sitting on his patio on an island. We were photographing his house, and he was looking at an app, and he looked at an app and said, "Oh, like this constellation is right down there in our feet. This is the first time I thought the stars are in my feet. Like, I'm stepping on stars because, like, of course, the earth is round." And do you have little revelations like this? Like at my mid-40s, I'm realizing that actually the stars could be not only above me, but below me. And like even those little moments in those conversations are so important, because it gives you a different glimpse how little your world is and how much bigger it could be.
Well, I don't have those kind of conversations with realtors. So, so there we go. So maybe I should start working with architects. They sound a little more interesting. But if I'm going to talk to an architect, I think that would actually, I would have to take action to do that, which means it is time for our action items. And of course, our action items today are sponsored by Pixel CRM. Unlock the full potential of your real estate media business with Pixel CRM, the all-in-one CRM and marketing platform built by a real estate photographer for real estate media professionals. Pixel CRM is designed to help you attract and retain clients through marketing systems and automation. If you go to pixelcrm.com/upmarket, you can get a 30-day risk-free trial, and that's Pixel CRM, PIXL CRM.com/upmarket, a free 30-day risk-free trial. Hey, we've been using Pixel CRM at Upmarket, and it's been going really well. We've always talked about the reviews, but now we've been doing our mailing list stuff through Pixel CRM. Makes it super easy, super clear. I think Chelsea's loving it. We've definitely been seeing efficiencies and cool things happening with our business since we started using it. So check it out, pixelcrm.com/upmarket. I'm going to take this opportunity to actually do the first action item. So I want to say, and it's something, and it's like, it actually happened natively in this episode, but it was something I was thinking about before we even recorded, Emma, and what was my action item going to be. And I decided when I was, prepping this morning, that my action item was going to be to take a moment to be inspired, to take a moment to either listen to maybe a more inspiring podcast than this one normally is, or take a moment to, scroll Instagram or look at a book or wherever, or, take a walk in nature, whatever you can do to actually just be inspired. And it doesn't have to be even work related, but I think so much for me in the last couple of years, I've felt uninspired about a lot of things. And I've been trying lately to take some moments to be inspired. And then I think today, genuinely in my talk with you, I have found some inspiration. And you know what? That actually feels good, right? It's like a little dopamine hit. And so my action item is just allow yourself to be inspired.
Oh, absolutely. So, that is a big one on a daily basis.
Yes.
Daily, you have to find something.
There you go. So, all right. So Emma, hit us with it. We're ready.
Okay, I have a million action items. To, okay. If you're asking me,
cap it at. Well, you can do one. You can maybe do. You can do a couple. You can do the double action item. We've had that before. So whatever you need.
So my action item, actually, that's like I do every single day, is I wake up and I look at a card that I purchased many, many, many years ago, on which it says, it's your mind that creates the world. So as an action item, I want to remind you every single day that it's a new beginning. Like, it is a new beginning in your work, in your business, in the way you approach the world. It's every single day you can actually achieve something that you want. It is the true belief in yourself that is important. So work hard, definitely. Don't just rely on dreaming and wanting things to happen. But I think if we have a clean slate every single day to do what we want and to push forward, that's what I do. Literally, this is my only routine. I don't have routines, but this is the routine that I follow. You just need to understand that, like, I mean, every day is given to us, like, and life is not a general rehearsal. So the most important thing is to keep moving forward. And for me, it's hard work as well. Like, I truly believe in nothing is achievable without those 10,000 hours, without working every single day. And don't ever compromise your own quality for nothing. Even if the set people are tired or they don't want to keep moving, and you see a shot and everybody's wrapped, do it, because this will make you feel like you've done your very best. So those are it's not one action item, it's kind of like 10 in one type of a.
Well, that's great. Well, I would expect nothing less, because I think you always go above and beyond. So, Ema Peter, I really appreciate you being on the show today. I think that was a wonderful conversation, and I'm excited for our audience to be able to hear it. And I'm excited for anyone who is coming to day 3 of PMRE who gets to see you talk and maybe meet you in person. And Ema, I'm so looking forward to seeing you in Las Vegas in November. And so thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much. Same here. Like, I'm excited to see everyone. And again, it's such an incredible crowd of people. So we're going to have some fun, and we're going to get a little bit more self-confident, hopefully, after the talk.
All right. That's my hope for me, because I need some more confidence. All right.
You do.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. We so really appreciate you, our wonderful audience. All right. Upmarket is a production of Upmarket Studios. This episode was produced by Chelsea Froelich and edited by Bethany Diedrich. Thank you so much for listening, and we really hope you listen to the next one too. In the meantime, our wish for you is to not have to shoot any Friday night twilight shoots. Thank you for everything.